76, 222, you get the picture. Anyway, jump on this train.
Lady sees a dog roaming about her neighborhood. She calls him over. The dog seems friendly enough at first, even if he is a pit bull. But then her little dog Max comes out and all hell breaks loose. Detectively picks up Max, but the pit bull won't give up. The terrified young woman cries out. And a hero is about to appear. It's an Amazon driver who puts herself in harm's way, bravely blocking the pit bull. No! And after the woman and her dog are safely inside, she gives the dog a piece of her mind.
You're a bad dog! How did she find out her dog?
She just kept staying right in front of, keep playing. She was playing defense, you know, staying between. Because that one girl, she comes out, she sees the one woman who's home, who's home caught the thing on camera. She went out, saw this dog just walking around and called it over.
She worked for Amazon.
The Amazon girl just saw what was going on because the dog sees her dog come out, and so the pit bull goes nuts. She picks up her dog, she starts screaming for help. The Amazon girl sees what's going on, comes over to help, you know. And she stayed in between her and the dog until she told the woman get back inside while she shielded. Yeah.
So you would have done that?
I'd have been saying the same thing. The woman holding the dog with, help! Help her over there! Shoot! Are you kidding me?
It's time for the D train.
Show of hands. Who's ridden the train before?
Darren DeVoue.
All right. All aboard.
Yes, welcome aboard, folks. We're on the D train with Darren DeVoue on CMPRadio.net in Chester, Pennsylvania. Good morning, Gerald. Best way to start your week. There is no better way to start your week. Joined behind the glass by the always present, always prominent Uncle P, and also the adorable assistant engineer, young Jordan.
Hello.
Yes, sir. On this week's Run of the D Train, we're going to talk about why you might not want to encourage your teenage child. Yes, why you might not want to encourage your teenage child to get a job at a fast food place. We're going to talk, of course, touch on the Eagles game last week. But first, usually we start off with the Eagles game, but this week we're going to start off with a little personal note. This week, as we all know, as I always joke about, I deliver for Amazon. And so I was in Exton, and I was going down a road. It looked a little sketchy. It was nighttime. I was like, I don't know, but you know, in my head, I gotta get rid of these packages. Well, Overlord Bezos will smack me on the behind, and I go down this road. I come back up, and sure enough, it's a heavy UPS type van too. So I'm stuck in the ice, and I have a little story about that. So go ahead and roll the video real quick. Oh, looks like I am stuck on a sheet of ice on a friggin' glacier out here in Exton. Fun. Here's my, look at that. She goes, ice goes all the way up there. I don't know why I even came down this road. It looks like somebody's not getting the package today. Now, so I'll be here waiting for the tow truck. Fun. Another day in the life. Oh, looks like I am stuck on a sheet of ice on a friggin' glacier out here in Exton. Fun. Here's my, look at that. She goes, ice goes all the way up there. I don't know why I even came down this road. It looks like somebody's not getting the package today. So I'm stuck in front of this house, right in front of this driveway. And the one guy, I'm sliding, I can't go anywhere. So I can't even, like, even in park, I can't take my foot off the brake. Otherwise, that big booty bad boy will start sliding back on the ice. All of a sudden, I look over. There's a guy right there. He's like, hey, you got something for me? I was like, man, I wish. So then he realizes I'm stuck. He disappears, reappears with a bag of sand. Meanwhile, the guy whose house I delivered to, he's coming up behind me with 2 pitchers of hot water. I'm like, oh, snap. Look at this. People coming together to help a brother out. That is awesome. Of course, I wound up having to call the tow truck, right? So the tow truck shows up, and he's not trying to come down that hill too much. So he comes down, brings down the chain, hooks me up. But then I'm starting to pull him down a little bit. Next thing I know, I look over by the tow truck. There's this guy standing in the driveway right there, just heaving salt into the street. I'm like, oh, man. And it was really, really heartwarming, too, because I thought to myself, look, this is the America of my dream right here. People coming together to help each other out. Of course, there was another thing in me that was also thinking, these guys are looking at me and the tow truck driver. We need to get these niggas out of our neighborhood. No, I'm kidding. But actually, the guy whose house, driveway I was stuck in front of while I was waiting for the tow truck, he shows back up. He's like, hey, you want some hot chocolate or something? Sure. Come on in. Snap. So him winning, he was an interesting fella. He's a certified rescue diver in 2 countries, been in Saudi Arabia, and like just it was nice. It was just a nice human moment for a while there. But speaking of the inhumane side of delivering for Amazon, these workers, this is at a stand-up meeting, which you're about to see. This is a stand-up meeting, and that's what they do when they're about to, like pre-shift, this, that, and the other, points of talking points, yada, yada. So this particular meeting in California and it was presented by TikToker KingMade_Nuke22. So, and he posted this video. Go ahead and roll this.
Got an announcement. Drug Enoch is going to be relocating to Arizona. As most of you know, I'm sure Sean moved to Arizona to be closer to his family. And I know that he has.
Now, one thing, little side note, that lady who was crying right there, she must be old school because, I mean, honestly, if there's a time to get laid off, right now is the time because, I mean, there's jobs everywhere. But I'm sure after the initial shock wore off, those folks were sitting there thinking, how much paid time off do I have left in these 2 weeks? Because I am using that stuff. Faux show. Oh my goodness!
So yeah, still the boxes. That's what you're saying?
No, they got laid off. Right,
okay.
They got laid off. That was announced right there in that meeting. They were. You got 2 weeks because the DSP now Amazon, they have DSP, so it's a third party,
right? And
they say, yo, we got you on the vans. You just need to find drivers, manage them, and et cetera, et cetera. So this particular DSP in this story, he was moving the company to Arizona to be with his family. So he told them, y'all got 2 weeks till we gone. Y'all out of a job in 2 weeks.
Damn, that's fucked up. I would have flattened all his tires. Put sugar in all his tanks. Disconnected the electrical cords for the electrical cords that he got. Oh, he would have regretted firing me because he would have been able to move none of his cars.
Oh my goodness.
Gonna lay me off because you want to be close to your family. I want to make money to feed my family.
Right,
you just gonna lay me off? Sad.
Oh, well, speaking of, there's more on packages because we got this couple here. This is a couple in Southampton, arrested by the Southampton Police Department. 37-year-old Heather Wren and her accomplice Kevin Williams. They were swiping packages from homes along Brownsford Road and Oakford section of Feasterville. They were caught on multiple Ring cameras. You could see them, like in the article, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different Ring cameras. Catch them walking up and snatching a package and running off. And then there's one particular camera, it caught both of them. They weren't snatching from that house, but it caught them working in tandem from on 2 different houses at the same time. You almost had to admire their folk. You almost, like, part of me wants to admire their focus, but another part of me is like the working man in me and says that's awful. Actually, Southampton PD called the thefts, quote unquote, one of the lowest crimes there is. Wren and Williams are facing theft and other various charges. Speaking of thefts, though, with respect to looting packages, like, this is just getting insane. This here, what you're looking at here, is a box-strewn rail yard in L.A. County. Apparently, there's a horde of godless heathens that have taken to robbing trains, which is a particular offense on this show.
Wow.
The D train with Darren DeVoue.
Oh yeah, I missed me. Went over my head.
Union Pacific, one of the country's largest and oldest rail companies, which ships for companies like UPS, Amazon, FedEx, said in a letter to the LA County DA that this is they've seen 160% spike in thefts on the train. So I think it's a crime of opportunity, though, because you hear about people who ride freight trains across the country. Like, that's pretty much how they exist, like riding freight trains. So I'm sure they probably see an opportunity on a rail yard. But
they used to have all types of stuff on them trains. They used to come through Chester, man.
Right.
Guns, everything.
Literally. Yeah, right there on
291.
Okay, there you go.
We used to stay down there.
And yeah, just they park sometimes for
not saying we were doing anything.
Okay, right.
Things would happen to fall off the train.
Right. It fell off a truck.
Right. Man, they got TVs down here. You better get down here.
Oh, well, they've seen Union Pacific is saying they've seen 160% spike in thefts in LA County over this year. They're blaming it on soft on crime initiatives. Yeah, so they're blaming it on the LA County's DA. So, because specifically a December 2020 special directive issued by George Gaston, the LA District Attorney, that changed how low-level offenses are prosecuted. And we talked about progressive DAs here on the show, but there's Union Pacific saying that the problem isn't going to go away, especially with individuals being released from custody within 24 hours. But Gaston is saying that statistically, their release does not affect public safety. So,
sad.
Crime is related to poverty, though. It's not
It is.
about, yeah.
It is. And if you're not helping the people that are committing these crimes understand that they can do better, then you're not really helping them.
Right, exactly. And that's like the old lock them up is not going to, it's proven to not work.
And they got money. They cool.
Right. You're sure y'all be all right.
This is what happens when, the rich get richer and the poor get poor.
Yes.
Right? You should want to give back. Why do you have $250 billion? Like, what do you want to do with that?
You won't be able to spend that for 5 generations.
I mean, like,
come on.
And you don't have any children.
Right.
Right? We're talking about Jeff Bezos. He don't have no kids. You feel me? So when he dies, where does his money go?
Charity. Hopefully.
And that's crazy. Right. That's absolutely crazy, right? I say, man, give Chester $100 million.
He got it, yeah. And
right.
That's nothing.
Right.
That's literally nothing. He made that just now since we opened the show.
He can open up a rec center in the city with an Olympic swimming pool, a swimming pool big enough to fit enough people,
and get some kids swimming.
Get some kids swimming lessons. When it's cold outside, they got somewhere to go. You know what I mean? A basketball court. These are the things that we need to be, reaching out and going after him for, man. Like, come on, give us $100 million.
Right.
Why not?
Break it all. Break them all. Let us hold something, Jeff
No,
Bezos.
they give it to us. Ain't no
Right.
Give it, yo, man. You ain't gonna use that $100 million. Let me get that.
Oh. Well, speaking of trains, a train met a plane recently.
Okay, explain that.
Well, what happened was this fella, he was driving a single engine Cessna, and he wound up crashing. He found
into a train.
In the train tracks. And
then the train came.
And then the train came. So what you're about to see actually is the body cam video from the cops that wound up pulling him out of this plane after he crashed. Go ahead and roll it, P.
No video.
Oh, well, they pulled him out seconds. Like, you can hear it. You can see in the body cam footage. They run up, they reach up and grab this guy, and he's kind of cut up and whatnot. Right. And they're pulling him, and you hear another officer yell, "Go, go, go!" Then you can hear the train. They get back like about 5-10 steps away, and that train just smashes through that plane. And those it takes a train a while to stop, like a half mile or so.
Right.
So
why didn't they let him know a half mile back?
Well, I don't know. Like he seen, like, that train came through there at a pretty good rate of speed.
They don't have the ability to see this shit on the train.
I don't know. Maybe it happened
the same old technology that they had on the train way back in 1985.
Possibly on some of these lines.
That's
crazy. Cheaper.
What do you mean that's cheaper?
That,
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Companies just, they will cut costs.
They don't invest in making sure that the railways are safe.
Once it starts affecting their bottom line, but up until then, no.
So it's all about making money.
Yes.
So how can you be mad at anybody for making money? How can you send somebody to jail for making money if it's all about making money?
Right.
If you're telling me the key, stop playing with me. The key to being American is making money, right? And we don't care. We're not going to let nobody mess up our bottom line or nothing.
Right.
You keep throwing everything on the floor. Making money. All right, cool. I think I got the video. Let me see. Nope, no video on that one either. So we on to the Eagles.
Okay. All right. Wait. All right. Oh no, that another video. Oh, that idiot in the next video. Well, you got the picture?
Yeah. No, it don't pop up on the picture neither.
No, well, just the picture of the guy.
Nah,
oh shit, the picture don't pop up. Oh,
picture don't pop up.
A guy jumped out. Well, that was a guy. He was under the guy. He was flying a single engine plane, and he supposedly was going to spread his friend's ashes, and then 20 minutes into the video, because he's got 3 cameras set up in the plane, one on the wing, one on the tail, and one in the cab with him. Then about 20 minutes, he said 20 minutes, just past 20 minutes into his flight, he says that he's having engine trouble. He's getting all panicked. The propeller stops on the plane. He looks out, then the camera on the wing catches him bailing head first out of the plane.
Does he have a parachute on?
Yes, he did.
Okay, all right.
Pulls his parachute,
and then
while he's still recording like this stuff.
Right.
Right. So then plane goes and crashes. He goes and makes his way back to the wreckage of the plane.
Right.
And then eventually, then he keeps recording and whatnot, makes his way out of the wilderness, finds help and so ever. Posted the video because apparently he's got over 100,000 followers on YouTube. Right. Posted the video, and that's when the FAA became a little interested in his adventure there, because it looks totally like he might have had you up until the moment he's jumping out of the plane with the selfie stick right there set up. Also, and that was just to me as a layman, people's comments on the video, like people that know their stuff, are like, dude, no, because he had a parachute on he had a 2 parachute on with the reserve. Right. And this one lady was like, you're not going to wear that while you're flying unless you're expecting to use it, because it's too cumbersome. They do sell less cumbersome single parachutes, but those ones, you don't have that fail safe for the reserve. So that told her.
He planned the crash?
He planned the crash. He planned this whole thing.
Is there a charge for that?
They will. Like, the FAA is investigating. And usually they take a while with those investigations. And that's what they think that he made his way back to the plane to make sure everything looked to follow his story.
Make sure he didn't hurt anybody.
Well, no, he wasn't worried about it. He crashed it over a forest, so I think that was what he was. Yeah, it was over a large.
Still could start a fire.
He still could have started a wildfire.
Right.
And, I mean, anything injured the wildlife out there.
Big dummy.
All for some likes.
Hey man, if he got 100,000 followers, again, what won't you do for likes?
Right. He, I wouldn't crash a plane. That's for sure. I wouldn't even get in one of those little
Jumping off the
things.
Commodore Barry Bridge
Into the no.
to Delaware, death. Onto the concrete.
Yes. Oh, the birds, man. So last week that was ugly, huh?
No, that was what
That
I
was-
expected.
That was what you expected. Well,
Yes.
the game plan starting off like they went. I thought they had that come to Jesus moment earlier in the year, and
Man, listen.
then they walked right away from it. Or maybe they thought that they were going to catch them off guard, but you still got to win those man. Like, look, it's football. Line up with that guy, man on man. Listen, I'm going to beat you. You know, even if you know what's coming. Vince Lombardi's boys. They used to run that sweep all the time, and the teams couldn't stop them
That
because.
was old school football.
But
bro.
yeah, and that's that old school mentality.
right,
You
but
need that mentality to a certain degree.
You can't come
to
in
run the
thinking we're
ball.
going to be able to pass the ball.
No.
Oh, their cornerbacks are hurt. You understand what I'm saying? We have to run the ball.
Right.
Straight up. From there.
She
He just throws everything off the.
just to see what happens. Yeah, they were. Yeah, and that's another thing too. Like with the, maybe they thought to some extent like this would be the game to try and get him going. But these plays for Rager, oh my goodness, they kept targeting this guy. Howie,
Leave him alone.
leave him
I
alone.
just let him play football. Bro.
Yeah,
He's what? He's better than you.
he's better than me, folks.
He's better
Sure,
than most
faster,
of the people that out
yeah.
here talking about him. Leave him alone. Let him play football.
Well, that's the problem. He's not playing.
He
Like
is.
I don't know. He's not a guy.
He's not the quarterback.
No,
He's the
no.
wide receiver.
And he's not a guy. Listen, I mean, when you see his production and what he has made on the field so far this year, I look at him and I say, he's not a guy that'll
not your number one.
He's not a guy that'll help you win this game.
Yeah, he can help you win the game.
Oh.
If you put him in the right position. Maybe he's a slot receiver and he's just over the middle, right? He's not the long. He might have the legs, but he might just be a slot receiver.
Is
You
he-
have to understand. You have to be able to look at a player and understand what he can do to help your team win.
Right, and
Kick return, he's not that.
No, he's too, and that comes back to what I see when I see him. I see a guy who's slow, and a guy who can't get it. And
He wasn't slow in college.
Well, he couldn't. Well, I don't know. Well, he's slow now. He can't get off the line of scrimmage. He cannot get off the line of scrimmage. And at what point is he helping the team? Cheating ass Tom Brady. He admitted after the game though, or he admitted in an interview that he does talk trash to the referees, and but they say that he doesn't get more calls than the average person. But that roughing the passer call on Derek Barnett, that was horrible. But the officiating overall though has been bad. Like, well, I've said that for the past few years. They depend a lot on the technology. There's guys second guessing them. But even Jerome Boger, his crew got moved. They're not officiating. The ladies man, the black ref, oh, you fired the black man. But the black ref, Jerome Boger, he reminds me of that movie, The Ladies Man. Hello, lady, when he speaks into the microphone. You won't get a chance to compare it now because he's done for the year as a ref due to his performance.
Yeah,
but-
they gave that fucking touchdown after they blew the whistle. Nah, I mean, if the whistle is the end of the play or end of the, like, it starts over, like, that's what it is.
Right.
Whether you scored a touchdown or
And
not.
you see how the defenders even slowed down when they heard the whistle, because that's what you're taught. That's ingrained in your head when you play to the whistle. You hear a whistle, you stop. Speaking of cheating ass Tom Brady, he trolled Eagles fans last week after the Bengals. It's not mother puss bucket. Those Jones were playing.
You the worst, bro.
Oh man. So Brady posted this video to Instagram where he's hello everybody. Good morning, happy Martin Luther King Day. Great day yesterday for us, the defense, and then when the video finishes off, it's a quick little highlight snippet of the game. The music, of course, is "Dreams and Nightmares" by Philadelphia's Meek Mills.
I mean, why wouldn't he? We beat him in the Super Bowl.
And that was, yeah, he just can't let it go.
Can't let it go.
He's a petty little cheating ass.
Right.
Oh,
he's not a cheater, bro.
He's a cheater. He's a trigger for me, folks. I'm sorry.
He's not a cheater.
He's a cheater.
How was he a cheater?
He's a cheater.
Tell me.
We've been through this.
I know.
Just went through it
and
last
you still
week.
haven't told me how he cheated.
He's cheating. I think he's juicing now.
Juicing?
Yes.
He ain't big.
Right.
So why was he juicing?
He's doing something illegal.
Oh, because he's taking care of himself.
Because he's a cheat. Oh, no.
Because he's a cheater.
Yes.
He's the GOAT, bro. Pay him his respect, bro. He's due that.
No.
I think everybody's due that respect, right? You don't have to be a Patriots fan to be able to understand greatness. You don't have to be a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan to understand greatness. When greatness is in front of you, 9 times out of 10, the people. Hey, I'm talking. The people that can't do.
She don't want to hear it. Tell her, George.
9 times out of 10, the people that can't do complain and call other people's cheaters, and the people that can do sit there and say, you know what? He deserves that. He deserves that, bro. He's 44 years old, still playing like he's a young boy. The average age on a quarterback is how old? In the NFL right now?
32, 36.
25. You look at all the teams with the young boys, it ain't that many. It's Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. The rest of the quarterbacks are young, bro. Name another old quarterback. You can't.
No.
Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
Cheating ass Tom Brady.
He's a hater.
Oh, well, you know what though? They've got a few criminals on that team.
Who?
The Bucks. And we need, you know what? And that's the thing we might need on our team. Like this whole searching for character and whatnot. Sometimes you do need a.
I need jokers with gold teeth.
Sometimes
dreads,
you do. Yeah.
You feel me? People that want to go out there and play football. I don't need all these good character guys. Oh, we're drafting him from Ohio. He's a good character guy. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's gonna get beat.
Right.
I need somebody that's not trying to get beat.
And that leads us to Lorente McCray, plays for the Jaguars. He was driving a white Dodge Ram and was picked up by a police unit. He was going 88 in a 55. As the officer attempted to stop McCray, McCray's arm went out the window and he gave the bird to the cop and kept going at a high rate of speed. Oh, so then officers cut down the pursuit because he got up to 100 miles an hour. So officers backed off, and then officers in the next township wound up catching McCray. So McCray, when he was eventually stopped by officers from the Tavares Police Department, he started off in Fruitland, Florida. When one of the officers from the Fruitland Police Department arrived to identify McCray as the driver who sped away, McCray said, "Oh, that was you? My bad." He tried to play like he didn't know that they were cops. But yeah, look at it. They're right there, Dren. Look at this brother. He looks like you.
Man, I thought y'all was my brothers.
Yeah,
playing, man.
I thought y'all was right.
Well, that was y'all? I ain't know.
Oh,
That's
man.
all I got to say.
Right.
I didn't know who y'all was, man. I got millions of dollars somewhere, bro. I can't be believing people that pull up behind me.
And actually, though, more on that with carjackings later. Yeah, later in the show. Yeah. That moves us on to the Sixers. Sixers are reportedly, according to ESPN, Sixers are reportedly talked Simmons trade with Sacramento. Yes. And they've entered into exploratory talks with the Kings. Reports Chris Haynes of Yahoo Sports. The Kings have shifted position from the summer and would include De'Aaron Fox or Tyrese Halliburton in the deal. Look for a deal to also include Oklahoma City as well, the one team with cap space more than $24 million and the ability to create more. That can absorb a contract rather than just swap players, making roughly the same money, which is what I always say. They don't trade players in the NBA. They trade contracts when you think about it. But P had to step off for a moment. So actually what I'll try and do is run it from the control room. Try something different here, folks. Wait, is he back? You know
What's
if he
wrong
had
with you, man? You was talking about the Sixers.
Oh, okay. I was. Yeah. I wasn't sure. Well, yeah. We talking about the Sixers trade, man. That ain't. And actually, Morey's saying that he's going to hold on to him. He might hold on to him for a minute. Well, he's definitely holding on. He's going past the trade deadline, right?
I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's holding on to him. Ben Simmons will still be a Sixer. Maybe not in uniform. Maybe not on the floor.
Just let him go.
But he's not going to more.
Look at what your team is doing right now, right? You're about 4th or 5th in the Eastern Conference. You feel me? You let him go and get a nice could be or should be play. He doesn't really benefit the team.
But overall, though, how much? Now, one thing I'm curious about, how much do you? Well, definitely get rid of him. You take the pack of cigarettes, take the 6-pack for him, and get rid of him. But it's going to be a distraction. But this is, man, JoJo has been playing some sensational basketball lately too.
Man, and he'll be out for 2 weeks.
Oh, he is now?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little.
And actually, that's my
back is a little sore.
That's always been one of my biggest gripes about him. That he can't stay on the court for a long while.
He would have won the MVP last year if he would have stayed on the court.
And he's been playing this season. He's missed 10 games, and 7 of them were for COVID. So he hasn't been.
Somebody told him.
Yeah.
Told him, boy, you been to work.
Yeah, he hasn't.
This is contract. Yeah, you want $100 million.
So he hasn't been playing. He's been playing this year and been playing well.
I was riding up Philly and I said MVP'd. Like they're already talking about.
Okay.
They ain't even played the fucking All-Star game yet. You talking about MVP. At least wait till after All-Star.
And, well, maybe if the Sixers win a title. Because that's one thing I've noticed during this whole.
The Sixers win a title?
They ain't winning no title anytime soon, right?
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Unless there's been a lot of talk floating about James Harden next season.
What about James Harden?
A sign and trade. Morey's his boy because Morey, they go back from Houston, et cetera. But I don't see it. But
you should have did that when you had Ben Simmons for him to get him in Houston. Just that quick. See it before it happens, bro.
And actually that was one of the rumors that I'd heard when Morey first got here.
Let him go.
Right.
I would have got rid of his light skinned ass. You gotta go.
But he's going to hold on to him for this season. I'm pretty much convinced.
Man, that's sad.
Indeed, because then we still have to look at it.
Novak Djokovic.
Oh yeah, he got kicked out of last Sunday after we went off air. He got deported out of
Australia.
He had to wind up going back to his native country. He left Sunday evening after losing his final bid to avoid deportation.
He doesn't want to get the jab.
And yeah, he's one of the few. Despite being unvaccinated, said Djokovic, I respect the court's ruling and I will cooperate with the relevant authorities in relation to my departure from the country.
Made millions of dollars. This shit don't bother me.
Right, and he was pretty much poking their eye the whole time anyway with the lies that he told on his initial application. But I guess in the end.
He already had COVID. Why you got to get vaccinated from it?
Well,
you catch it again?
Yeah.
You can catch it if you vaccinated.
Catch it if you vaccinated.
So why am I getting vaccinated?
Because we said so. That's why.
See, motherfuckers, y'all too quick to want to listen to people, bro.
Oh.
You can get it if you're vaccinated. You can get it if you're unvaccinated. You can spread it if you're vaccinated. You can spread it if you're unvaccinated. The only thing that changes is the fact that you got stuck.
Okay. And it doesn't lower your life expectancy as well. I mean,
people going like
some people. I mean,
they can't
it's
have
like
kids
snowflakes.
They getting the vaccine.
No, I know a guy knocked his wife up right after getting the vaccine. She's
was
like
right
6
after
months
getting the
in.
vaccine. We talking about let's go like years down the line.
Okay, all right, we'll see. Novak Djokovic said he was uncomfortable that the focus had been on him since his visa was first canceled after his arrival in Melbourne on January 6th. I hope, said Djokovic, I hope that we can now focus on the game and tournament I love. The national federation that runs the tournament, Tennis Australia, said it respects the decision of the federal court. Deportation order also usually includes a 3-year ban on returning to Australia. Does that happen with every country, I wonder? If you get deported, no? So, I mean, you can try and get in. But speaking of vaccines, and well, a lot of people that don't want the jab, like P and Djokovic, but then there are certain protocols that you might need to have evidence of being vaccinated. So there's a big business right now in counterfeit vaccine cards.
Mm-hmm.
The last Friday, the Philadelphia Customs Office, they released an image of a counterfeit card. And this counterfeit card, that's the next image. This counterfeit card that's shipped from Bulgaria to an address in Stamford, Connecticut. The item was hidden on the inside of a greeting card. Online dealers are selling fraudulent cards for as much as $500 each. More than 30,000 fake vaccination cards have been seized by customs and protection officers nationally. And that's this last story in our first block. This is a sad one. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet have announced divorce. They're headed for divorce after more than 4 years of marriage. After 4 years of marriage, they've been dating they've been together since 2004, but now they're divorced. Excuse me, folks. They're divorcing after 4 years? Getting a divorce? And see, that's why I often say, when people look at me and say, Darren, you need to get married, or you need to find, I don't get married because I don't believe in divorce. Thank you very much. Okay? But they released a statement. The statement says that they're parting ways. The celeb couple announced the shocking news Wednesday on social media with a shared statement explaining their decision to part. Say they felt the squeeze and changes of these transformational times and are feeling and growing from seismic shifts occurring. They're freeing each other to be who we are learning to become. Whatever the hell that means. I don't know what they're saying, but they started dating back in 2005. No, 2005. I had it wrong. But 2005. But letting each other go to be what we are going to become.
I mean, do you expect?
I don't know what you're saying, bitch.
Like letting each other go so we could be great.
Okay.
Like he's going up, and she really hasn't gone anywhere since the Cosby Show. Right. She hasn't gone anywhere.
She's had a couple of roles. I mean, she was one.
Her
of
daughter's
my first
doing a good job.
Yo, her daughter's blowing up. Yes.
Right. She on Batman.
Right.
You feel me? So the mom ain't doing nothing. You feel
And
me?
yeah, she had that one role in only time I remember one side thing, and then the Will Smith movie, Enemy of the State. But she was in that for like 10 minutes. And so yeah. But yeah. So yeah, that's a big boy too. He's Khal Drogo, wasn't he? He played. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Did you see any black people in there?
3.
I'm good.
About 3, and I might have went over the actual retail price.
You definitely went way over the actual retail price, right?
Oh.
Were there no black people during the time of dragons?
Oh, that brings us to the end of our first block of the D Train with Darren DeVoue on cmpradio.net, the station, the voice of Chester. Coming up in our next block, we're going to talk about the danger of fast food jobs. And also more entertainment from young Jordan. You're on the D Train with Darren DeVoue on cmpradio.net.
We are not going to intentionally destroy one of our own trains, not when we can still stop it.
We are not ramping down. We're just getting started. Nothing stops this train. Nothing.
runaway freight train in Pennsylvania.
He doesn't have expert opinion. He's an expert at giving his opinion.
Everybody, we got fathers out here. Larry's a father. I'm sure Jabri has. Everybody except me has kids. But, all right, P, I met your son. Young, standing, handsome young man. Now, but he's a 26-year-old, right? He's got a father. They didn't disclose the father's age. This 26-year-old was making $9,000 a month off of OnlyFans page. He posted nude pics of himself. You know, and he's well built. Yeah, you know, he's a stocky guy. He's paid. So then,
2 men in the shower.
Yes. So it gets better. So then, you know, as we discussed before, when we discussed OnlyFans some time ago on the show, at some point you're going to have to start escalating your content in order to keep your viewers interested, right? He got the idea of saying, looked around and said, hey, Dad. His father, who's a plumber, hey, Dad, what are you doing after work today? So,
why would you even put this in?
So then he started posting nude pics of him and his father
together
on his OnlyFans page. They're now making $40,000 a month as opposed to $9,000 a month. No, P? No? Disqualify him from the list of fees.
Carry on.
Carry on.
Sir, we're not just talking about a train here. We're talking about a missile the size of the Chrysler building.
It's the D train with Darren DeVoue.
It's your train. I'm just the guy driving it.
Don't forget, check out the cmpradio.net YouTube or Facebook page if you miss any of CMP Radio's content during the week. That's why I like to have breaks installed, because it seems like, you know, you could maybe watch some, then pause it, then come back, go to church right now. Today's Sunday, so I'm sure some folks are getting ready for church as they listen. And then you can catch your third block later on. So don't forget, cmpradio.net YouTube or Facebook page. Like and subscribe and share it if you're digging it. Coming up in this block, the danger of fast food work. All right. But also delivery. So, but as always in this block, as we always say,
it's a mad world.
All right, so let's get started here. And it happened right here in the... Oh, son of a biscuit eater. It started right here in the city.
It's a tad bit slow.
It started right here in the city. Young lady... Well, I couldn't believe this. Ying Bing Guao, he was delivering for number 1 China on Providence Road. And detectives said a 16-year-old female shot him as he was attempting to make his delivery, tried to get him for the car and rob him. A 16-year-old female?
Madness! This is madness!
Like the females are doing this now? Like,
man, you just, when we first started the show, you had females robbing fucking stores and females pulling out guns. And listen, man, anybody, if you got a gun in your hand, you can do it.
Oh my goodness. Well, this young lady, she's unidentified because she's a minor. They've arrested her, but they're charging her as an adult for attempted homicide-related offenses. Bail was set at $750,000, being held at the George Hill Correctional Facility. Preliminary hearing is set for the 31st. That moves us on to our next story involving teenagers, guns, and so this is 16-year-old Brian Durham Jr. and he was working at a fast food restaurant. They don't say which one, in Phoenix area. Got into an argument. He didn't even get into the argument with the customer. What happened was, he was at the register. Manager was over here, according to his father, what his father told local news outlets. He was at the register. Manager's over here. Customer is over there. Customer wants some extra barbecue sauce. Manager chimes in, yep, that's going to be extra. Customer didn't like that too much. So he pulled over, parked, got out of the passenger side, walked up to the window, pulled out a handgun, and shot and shot the employee, Durham Jr. He wound up being arrested later on, 27-year-old Theodis Polk. But jail records show he's booked on suspicion of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and multiple other offenses.
Attempted homicide.
Yeah, like over some barbecue sauce.
Listen, man, when people want their barbecue sauce, these corporations, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, just get a barbecue sauce up, man. It take you 5 cents to make it.
It's not worth right.
It's not worth 50 cents. Why are you charging people for barbecue sauce?
Right. And yeah. I would pay extra for the barbecue sauce at Big Bad Wolf's Barbecue in Aston. That place, that's some tanky barbecue sauce right there. But this guy, I wouldn't even smack anybody for that. I just paid the extra. But this guy, he took it. You think?
But listen to his name. You said Theodis.
Theodis, I know, right? He's been through a lot.
Did you see Theodis doing anything like spectacular in his life?
Right. Oh, that moves on to our next story, which is a bit much. This is also sad. A 19-year-old in Harlem, Burger King, and she was shot dead on January 9th. Police say that she was crouching behind the register when she had already given the gunman $100. She was crouching behind the register, and he wanted more, and he shot her. He was a homeless Jamaican immigrant. He used to work there. Now, it doesn't say if they worked together at any point or not, but obviously something was wrong with him. The family's discussing a lawsuit because this took place at 1 a.m., so their family's saying that there should have been security there.
It absolutely should have been security.
Yeah, and this is East Harlem. I mean, no, it's New York. Like, there's just something's always ready to jump off there. All that many people. And this story also takes place. Our next story also takes place at a Burger King, and it's sad as well because a young teenage female, 16-year-old Naisha Brazil Harris, she was working the drive-through window when a gunman approached, and this was on January 2nd. Gunman approaches the drive-through window. Investigates, she gets shot. Now, investigators originally believed that the fatal shot came from the gunman who was trying to rob the joint. Another look from inside the place determined that the shot actually came from her coworker, 34-year-old Derek Ellis, who was aiming for the robber. So during the investigation, Harris Brazil's best friend, who also works at the Burger King, she admitted to authorities that the robber was not only her boyfriend, but that her, Brazil Harris, they were going to stage the robbery in order to try and rob Burger King. So this young lady is gone over. So they were attempting to rob the place, stage a robbery. Apparently they didn't spread the word and let Mr. Ellis in on it, because he's the one who fired the shot. By the way, Mr. Ellis is on the run now. He said he went on the run rather than turn himself in, because he's actually being wanted for murder charges, probably because he ran. Now, if he'd have stayed, does he look? No.
Did she die?
Yeah.
So it was murder regardless?
Well, maybe he was. I don't think he should.
Involuntary manslaughter.
That would be Because
I think they would have. He wasn't trying to kill her, so
right.
You can't give false charges. So when the DA charges you with something, it's something that could stick. If they hit him with homicide, first degree homicide, it's not proven that that's what he did. Involuntary manslaughter is something different.
That's different, right? Which is more like legally when you hear the description of it, it's more
Absolutely.
like what he did. Her best friend admitted to, again, the authorities that. So I don't know. The article doesn't mention what charges she may be looking at as well, but I'm sure she's got something coming at. We talked about carjackings yesterday. I stopped past here yesterday, and then I was leaving, and so I'm on Concord, about to turn onto, Curlin. I'm about to turn onto that ramp, getting onto 95 South. There's this young fella driving behind me. He is inches from my butt, like as I'm turning. So now I'm getting paranoid now, because I'm like checking the rear view, because I'm like, who's in the car with him? Is he going to try one of these? I've been hearing about these little minor accidents that they try going to try and bump me. And then as soon as I get out, like, yo, we all right? I get carjacked. Oh, no, Jack. But he was by himself. And then I continue up the ramp. And then once there's 2 lanes for a second, he zooms around me. I'm like, oh, okay, so you're just driving like an a-hole. You weren't going to rob me. But either way, listen, folks. I got that app, that insurance app downloaded onto my phone. Don't mess with my discount, all right? I am not going to be speeding and hauling ass everywhere. But carjackings are up astronomically. And the next story, this young lady, this is Nasira Wilson of Philadelphia. She was arrested last Friday with 2 juveniles. They were attempting to carjack a woman at Bloomingdale's at the Willow Grove Mall. The victim told police she had been confronted by the 3 suspects who dragged her out of the vehicle and threw her onto the ground. One of the suspects attempted to take control of the vehicle. When the victim attempted to call police, she was assaulted again by the other 2 suspects. They then fled. The suspects then fled on foot and were observed by an Abington officer in the 3rd level parking lot and then they fled into the mall. Like, what were they going to do in there? Like, become the mannequin? Like, this way they'll never find us. Like, so Philly, but they were arrested there. Philly logged 757 carjackings last year, and that was an 85% spike compared to the previous year. And this year, there's been more than 100 carjackings, including attempts. Jackings are on the rise nationwide. Denver, Minneapolis, Chicago, they're all seeing a sharp spike. What is it that crime of opportunity? Because I mean, I guess you would steal a car, use it to commit more crimes, and you can get rid of the car. So they're stealing getaway cars now, blatantly. I remember, why don't they just use a Slim Jim, like a good self-respecting thief? Like, what is that?
Most cars are push to start. You need the keys.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know how to hotwire and push to start cars.
Okay.
You feel me? Like, my thing is, do your homework. Don't just be out here being a criminal. If you can steal a car with less probability of hurting someone, you should want to do it that way.
And less risk for charges. Like, there was this crew that used to rob houses, and one of their rules, whether there was no guns.
No guns.
No guns, because if we get caught, that's more charges.
Right, it's more charges, more time. You feel me? Than just burglary.
Right. Exactly. we can walk in a few months or a few years. Oh, speaking of stealing things with guns, this lady, this French bulldog here, this is Tito. Now, what happened was suspects pulled up on a woman in California in the Norbridge Road in the Castro Valley. Now, the suspect pulled up on her. They stole her dog. They pulled up 4 of them. It was 4 of them. Her and her daughter were in the car. They stole the dog. So then, they're already shook up. You got three guys. There was 4 of them. 3 of them had handguns. They steal the dog. So you go home. You're trying to process all that. And then, damn, if these sons of bitches didn't come back 4 hours later at 9:45 and steal the car. The car was reported stolen, and that has been involved. And now that it's been involved in several armed robberies. French bulldogs, they're a hot commodity apparently. In the San Francisco area. They're stolen a lot. Multiple reports of French bulldogs being stolen in that area. Apparently, the America Kennels online marketplace says that those things can go for $5,000. $5,000 for that little ugly? No disrespect to little Tito, but oh no. Hopefully maybe Tito will escape, find his way back home.
No, Tito's they got a male.
And they make a Disney movie out of it?
No, they get a male, they steal a female, and now you got your own dogs.
Oh, shit.
Now you selling your own dogs for $5,000 a pop.
Damn, now they're going to have Tito
$2,000, $3,000, right? It's all about what people can carry. You can carry a French bulldog.
How about that?
Put it in a little bag, got his ears all perked up, you feel me? It's cute.
Okay, yeah.
A French bulldog ain't nothing but a Chihuahua and a pit bull mix. With more bulldog in it than anything else.
Okay.
Look at it. Look like a chihuahua.
He's right. He looks like a.
You put the bulldog back in it.
With the face.
Yeah, put the bulldog back in it. You feel me?
Yeah, actually, that leads us to our next story about a dog. Another robbery with a dog. Uber Eats driver. This is Brownie, 13, and Brownie's a 13-year-old dog that Danielle Carter would often keep with her when she was making Uber Eats deliveries. And they stole the car with Brownie in it while she was doing a delivery in West Babylon. Her Samsung Galaxy phone was taken along with Brownie, who was knocked out in the back seat. But apparently the thieves returned Brownie. She put a story out on social media and the news got a hold of it. And now Brownie is at home. So CPB, they came to steal Tito. Yeah, Tito's not going to get home like Brownie. Brownie's 13 years old too. So even if they wanted to like breed him or something, his swimmers aren't going anywhere.
You missed your shot.
Yeah. Whoever the thief is, thank you. You left the heat on. Oh, they returned the car too. They returned the car, left the heat on, left the car running with Brownie in the driveway. You left my car running. At least you had a heart.
Yeah, once they got in the car, they realized they got a dog. Like,
And actually, I heard there's a story. I think we ran it last week. The Uber Eats driver left her kids in the car while she was delivering. And the thief goes to get in the car, and the kids are like, "Yeah, who are you? Like, why are people delivering and leaving their damn cars unlocked?
It's cold outside."
Man, I shut that engine off and locked the door.
No,
man,
leave that motherfucker running.
No,
lock it. If you can't lock your car while your car.
Oh, running. I got a key. I got the. Yeah.
Right,
you just said the push start. Yeah, she's dummy proof. She won't lock me out. Right. Okay, that's right. Okay. We talked often about progressive DAs on this show.
Yes, we have.
And my personal favorite, Philly DA Larry Krasner. This is Senate President Jake Corman. He's a Republican in Center County, and he's calling on Republican leaders in the House of Representatives to begin impeachment proceedings against my man Larry Krasner. He sent a letter out on Tuesday. Corman's letter comes as Philadelphia set a record for having the most homicides ever in a single year. So, but as Corman's letter says, as Corman's letter states the following: as elected officials of the Commonwealth, we cannot turn a blind eye to D.A. Krasner's clear dereliction of duty. Meaningful action must be taken to restore a sense of security to the communities and families that have been negatively impacted by his negligence. Decision to allow more and more criminals to walk free through plea deals and dismiss charges has created an environment in which Philadelphians are no longer safe in their own homes and communities. So you see he's a Republican and he's throwing out red meat to the base right there, obviously. But, he's got some low-hanging fruit right there with the crime. But the crime rate everywhere, I bet you if you look at the crime rate of, name a small town, Lock Haven, Pennsylvania, I'm sure that crime rate is up there as well. Like, it's up everywhere. And to attack Krasner, who's been prosecuting, hasn't been putting the heavy hand of the law on no violent crimes, that's just, he's just, trying to gin up the base. But and what also gets me my goat is that Corman is in Center County, which is aptly named because it's quite literally in the center of Pennsylvania, hundreds of miles from Philly and what D.A. Krasner has to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and the citizens that he so purports to care so much about have to deal with. I wonder when the last time Corman came to Philadelphia.
Oh, I don't go to Philly.
Yeah, that's what he said.
No, there's no reason for me to go to Philly.
Wait, that's your personal, or is that Corman? You doing Corman?
It's too dark up there.
Yeah, that's what Corman's saying.
That's exactly what he says. And when you have people that come out and speak like that, right, it just shows you how people feel. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't really care about the people of Philadelphia, right? He cares about getting his name out there.
There you
the
go.
Person that's doing something. So,
and here's the thing too.
And he's scared. Trust me, he's scared. Right.
Here's the thing too. Krasner trounced his in the Democratic primary in Philadelphia. Krasner won by a 2-1 margin. Then he beat his Republican opponent Charles Peruto by a 3-1 margin. Especially high margins in areas suffering from high rates of gun violence. So he won more in those areas where they're suffering from the gun violence. So this guy is basically saying like, and that's another thing with these Republicans now. Yeah, I know the people voted for it because they wanted, but screw that. I don't like it. Screw these people's votes. Right? like, what the hell?
I mean, they basically said that in the U.S. Senate. Yeah. Right. When they're holding back, voter registration forms and Voters' Rights Act. They trying to pass a bill for voters' rights, and they not trying to hear. Nah, we good. We gonna veto that bill. What you mean vote? That's something that should be like mandatory. Voters' rights, right? You should protect that at all costs. But not if that means we're gonna lose.
Right. But then at the same time, if I say Constitution, they start to genuflect and whatnot. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, whatever. But speaking of Krasner. In our next story, this is the type of crime that Krasner will prosecute fully. He's not going to go after a purse snatching, but I'm sure he'll go after this guy. This is a 48-year-old male suspect, and I'm sure. Did you hear about this, P? No. Beat this woman in an office building in Old City, Philadelphia, on Chestnut Street. Beat this woman with 2 pipes.
A pipe.
Two pipes. He was renting 2 units on the 8th floor, and he attacked the 31-year-old victim with 2 large metal pipes. She's only identified as a team leader within the building. Witnesses said that he struck her at least 5 times in the head while she had her back turned. The attack may have been, according to police, according to the report, the attack may have been fueled by a rent dispute. 20 calls to 911 were made during the attack. Detectives also questioned 10 witnesses, and they said that the witnesses did not appear to intervene. That's because they were too busy doing this to intervene.
You got a man with 2 pipes. I ain't trying to be hit.
No.
You ain't gonna hit me with one of them pipes.
Right. I just try to approach him from behind and then do a flying drop kick. So that way,
go get your own pipe.
Right. And then
all of those 10 witnesses, nobody had a gun.
Probably not.
Right. So do you understand what you allow to happen by being a person that's scared to carry a gun?
I don't know, but like you said, pipe. I'm sure. Well, he probably
got a gun.
The pipe with him. Yeah.
I got a gun.
All
I'm gonna shoot you in your leg. Bow, bow.
Right.
We just gave the bull, P's Heroes. You feel me? For intervening, and he intervened because he had a gun. You know what I'm saying? You don't worry about what people gonna do to you when you got a gun. Literally. Like, what he gonna pull out? He would have pulled out the knife. He wouldn't have had a gun. He would have got stabbed.
Maybe it might be also because I am such a forgetful person, so I know me. I'll be like, yeah, did I leave that Glock again?
That'll never happen.
No?
Not with no gun. Not with no gun, because if somebody gets your gun, they can shoot you.
Yeah, true.
Right? I know you ain't that forgetful.
Right.
I'm not worried about my life.
The prospect of that would remind me.
So, buy a gun. Go right now.
Oh. We got a little daredevil story here, sort of. This is our next story. We got 32-year-old Darrell Edward Royal Jr., also known as DJ, and he's of Middletown, and he was in Sowatara Township police when they attempted a traffic stop at about 1:15 in the morning. So Royal, instead of pulling he pulls into the Red Roof Inn, fakes it, keeps going, and then he pulls into a strip mall onto the grass, opens the door and jumps out as the vehicle is rolling and keeps going, and it smashes into a smoke shop. Of course, they wound up getting him. Now, the problem was he was under the influence, and he had multiple warrants out on him already. So he was attempting to evade the police.
Not like that.
He did better just pulling over and getting out.
Pretty much.
Speaking of guys who made a bad decision, our next story, we got 32-year-old Casey Stofco. Now, he was with his 20-year-old partner at their apartment in Kutztown. And she was experiencing COVID-19 symptoms, and she had called 911. EMTs responded and were greeted at the front door by Stofco. Stofco then goes and tells them that she doesn't want to go to the hospital. And the EMTs are like, yeah, okay, that's cool, but you mind if we hear it from her? I think legally you have to hear it from your patient at that point too. So they were just trying to cover their own ass. Stofco goes into the bedroom, closes the door behind him, opens the door, and pepper sprayed the EMTs. That's when, so they then fled the residence, and of course Stofco was arrested, and he's currently in Berks County Jail. He's still in jail, and the bail is $1,500. So, wow.
This is blasphemy. This is madness.
Yeah, you got $150 though? Got that in the chain?
Does he look like he has $1,500?
No. Which is, why can't he afford a pepper spray in the first place?
That's all he could afford was
right.
a pepper spray.
He can't afford it. He wanted a gun, like he said. I want a gun so bad, but this is all my budget will allow.
Right, it's pepper spray.
Oh. So, and this is our last story of the second block. Animal sacrifice.
Yes.
So this is in India. They have the Sankranti celebrations. And the sacrifice is part of the festival of Kanuma, also known as the Pasavula Panduga. And this animal was meant for the sacrifice, and he was pulled up. He was going to be sent up to the patron goddess Andhra Pradesh. No wonder those Indians are so intelligent. They got so much to follow in their religion. Jeez. It's like a whole thick old textbook. Oh, man, have you seen the book on how they make love? That book is thick, too. But according to police, the priest, Chalapathy, he was drunk at the time. And he had a knife. As he was getting ready to cut the goat's throat, he missed. And instead cut the throat of Suresh instead. So he said that several local reports said that the victim was nearly beheaded. So he's looking at charges for that. Now I would say that's an involuntary manslaughter charge. That's not a murder charge per se, right? But that just goes to show you what happens when you get. That's what. And somewhere there's an atheist going, see? I never have to worry about that sort of thing. Oh, that brings us to the end of our second block, the D Train with Darren DeVoue. Don't forget, you can go and check out CMP's other content, Morning Meeting. Oh, Morning Meeting. You guys have been quite the entertainers this week. I was watching the shows. You've been cracked and informative. Also, the 23rd hour. She's fading. I see her fading. She's a fight in that sleep, though. She's trying to talk her way out of it. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and also share. And don't forget, Cash App the station $1. Go ahead, do it. Be nice. It'd be nice. Everybody gives $1. We'd have what? We got 22,000 followers. It's 22,000 for the station to do some more awesome things with. But in our next block, we're going to talk about a magical bar. And, of course, we're going to do P's Weekly Heroes. You're on the D Train with Darren DeVoue on cmpradio.net.
We are not going to intentionally destroy one of our own trains, not when we can still stop it.
We are not ramping down. We're just getting started. Nothing stops this train. Nothing.
On that runaway freight train in Pennsylvania.
He doesn't have expert opinion. He's an expert at giving his opinion.
I'm going to take my black behind home and get me a nap and then get on with the week. I hope you have a great week as well. Stay peaceful, productive, and positive in honor of using P words in honor of Uncle P. Anything to say before we sign off, P?
Nah, man, be safe, man. Be productive, man. Make sure you let everybody know that you love them, man, because tomorrow is definitely not promised. So make sure you're passing out love instead of hate, man. Give some inspiration to somebody close to you. Let a friend know that you care about them. You feel me? Try to mend a broken fence.
You know what? Oh my goodness! It's like I didn't even mention that to you. That is so freaky. I actually have a broken fence with a relative. It was like on my to-do list tonight to send them an email, like not to mend the fence, but to do the opposite. To be like, you know what? If that's how you want to be. And then Pete just says this right now. So, oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. That is like the universe just, so I gotta crawl.
No, you don't have to crawl. If you see it as crawling back, then you crawl back. If you don't see it as walking up to someone as a grown man and saying, listen, I'm sorry, right? I'm sorry. Literally you're saying, I'm sorry for the way you feel about me.
Right, okay.
But, you're saying, I'm sorry for anything that I have done that could have upset you. And it's real simple. It's just that simple. And it frees you. It frees a lot of your thinking. It frees a lot of your situation up, man, to be able to say.
Because it was Bob. In the middle of the night, sometimes I wake up about this situation. Wow.
Yeah, so,
the universe has spoken, Darren. Are you listening?
Yeah, pay attention to other people.
Yeah.
Right, tell them, Mom. Tell them, Mom.
Sir, we're not just talking about a train here. We're talking about a missile the size of the Chrysler Building.
It's the D train with Darren DeVoue.
It's your train. I'm just the guy driving it.
We're back. The last block of the D Train with Darren DeVoue on CMPRadio.net. Thank you for joining us as always. Getting a little local with our stories. We got local, in a much more high, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm a wordsmith and now I got a glitch right now. More upbeat. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Upbeat stories of a local variety. And we'll start here with coastal zone grants given to Marcus Hook for piers and Chester for the trail. Marcus Hook Borough received 2 state grants to plan for replacement of their obsolete fishing pier, which we have. That was closed 2 years ago. The pier was originally part of a Coast Guard facility, and then it went into process of the U.S. Army. It eventually deeded to the borough, along with the community center, which was turned over in the year 2000. The borough sold passes to fishermen from April to November for use of the pier. But in 2016, the borough hired marine engineers with the company Urban Engineers to conduct a study on the structural condition of the pier. And the pier borough manager said the borough assessed each year after the study to determine whether it was safe to open the pier. And by 2020, found that it was not safe, and it's been closed for the same reason. Since the closure of the pier, officials have been looking for ways to repair or replace the facility, as well as provide an additional recreational opportunity other than fishing. In addition, the city of Chester got a grant to develop the final design for the East Coast Greenway Trail connected at Norris Street. So there you go. Then Philadelphia. Harry Potter. How you folks? I mean, my mom probably. Hi, Mom, by the way. I'm so sorry I was being so late with that. That's the waterways. No. Okay, wait. Yeah, man. The waterways in Chester, or not just Chester, but Pennsylvania. And my story is not there. The Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, they've assessed that the threatened waterways and streams in Pennsylvania, they've assessed 2,000 more miles, and they found that there are obviously more threats to the area. What I was surprised about from this study and they do this each year. Apparently, now for some reason Delaware County wasn't listed, but they listed the counties. They listed each threatened waterway by county, and what constituted a threat was son of a biscuit eater. Where'd it go? What constituted a threat was includes pollutants, metal, lead, etc. in the water. And so Bucks County was the best in the area. They didn't, again, I looked through that thing like 4 times and did not see Delaware County listed. But Berks County was the best in this area with 33%. And then it got worse from there. Montgomery County, 75% of their streams, and Chester County, 72% of their streams are listed as threatened, impaired, or impaired, which I guess they mean it's also a threat to the local wildlife as well and might not be inhabitable. In Montgomery and Chester County, for what they pay in taxes, they can't even get some decent water, huh? That's crazy. What? Next, we got a bar. No, I was talking about Harry Potter and whatnot. Yeah. So I was talking about Harry Potter and what have you, and or not just Harry Potter. What about Lord of the Rings? There's a bar that's opening in Philly soon. There's one in New York, but there's a bar that's opening in Philly soon, and it is inspired by J.K. Rowling and the other author what's his name? J.R.R. Tolkien, excuse me. So it's inspired by their work. So you can pretty much go into some type of fantasy shire type bar. And they've actually combined chemistry and mixology. So you'll have some drinks that smoke and they use fire and what have you. And you even get wands and a robe. I have to give you these details because I have a video that's probably not going to play. So there you go. But yeah, that's what. So that's in the. But actually, you get the wand and the robe on the VIP second floor. So, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, I want to get drunk and put a wand in my hand and a robe and walk around town like I'm putting spells on people like that. That's the type of bar theme I want to go to. It seems like, you know.
It sounds like a place where you get drunk at. That's for sure. Yeah. Right. It does seem.
I don't see myself going there at 42 years old and even piquing my interest.
Right. It's a little fantasy place. Right. Yeah.
But see, what school? What college did you go to?
Mansfield University.
You'll like it.
The Harvard of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you'll like it. You would like it. You would definitely.
I already planned on.
I know you planned on going. Right, you would like it. Yes, I got a robe on.
Spit yourself, Mama.
The hell is this nigga in there doing? Darren, what are you doing? Oh, hey P, how you doing? Like, I'm just gonna walk past. See Darren in there every Friday.
Oh my goodness.
Stand-up comedy. How about those ogres? What ogres are you talking about, dude? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, so this is South Jersey native Matthew Cortland and his partners. They're bringing it's called the Cauldron Magical Pub, and it's going to be located on 13th and Locust in Philly. And they'll serve 2 experiences. One is the walk-in cocktail bar and gastro pub serving food, and what they're calling their molecular cocktails upstairs that showcase science. The Wizard of Menlo Park, for example, is a Thomas Edison-inspired ginger cocktail that shoots plumes of smoke into the air. All drinks designed by co-founder David Duckworth are made to be interactive, and they feature different effects such as fire, ice, smoke, spherification expansion, and color change. The food also will have a fantasy side. Fish and chips use sea salt vapor to bubble and smoke. The cauliflower cheese is lit on fire and extinguished with liquid ribbons of cheddar. Even bread is a warm, string-tied loaf of sweet bread wrapped in banana leaves, presented on a wooden log with a lavender honey yogurt dip. The wands, based on IoT, Internet of Things, have sensors, and actually that's part of the wand thing too, that keeps up your bar tab there too. Because I saw in the video, the one person, they have a tree that's hooked up to a tap in the video, and it's like got this craft beer that comes. You can pour as much as you want into your pint glass, and you just tap your wand, and it'll keep track of how much you poured in the glass, and that's how much will be added onto your tab. So there you go. The experience starts with spell casting 101, which customers pour a welcome cocktail or a non-alcoholic drink from their mouth of a glittering unicorn. Customers then move on to a workstation. So, yeah, I'll let you know how it goes, P. I'll give it a review with some video from me.
Definitely.
Oh, now, P is all, we've talked about fast drivers. I've talked about, I've tried to chastise my engineer for his lead foot. Well, they certainly won't, he would hate this. You lead-footed people will certainly hate this next story. There's a 295-ton superload that's crawling across Pennsylvania, and it's at 30 miles an hour on the highway. It's a superload. It's an empty steel tank, part of the decommissioning of the D1G prototype reactor at a nuclear site in West Milton, New York. According to PennDOT, super slow or superload snaking its way across Pennsylvania, and last Sunday it was spotted near Ridgeway. It'll be about 30 miles an hour, or the prevailing speed limit, whichever is lower.
Thank you, Mom. That's definitely a nerd bar for adults.
Now the superload's progress, if you're worried that you might get stuck on there behind it, because they have been closing roadways for the superload, if you want to follow that progress, you can monitor it on 511PA. That's an interesting little website too. You can track traffic on there, accidents, all kinds of stuff. It was very informative. Has very much a lot of info. If you're going to be on the road, go on a road trip, I think I might check those for. I'm gonna check that next time I go on a road trip rather than Google Maps. See what happens. So Delaware County, the hospitals, they've been taking on medical reserves due to a lot of people still in the hospital. Is that right? They've been taking on, still a lot of people into the hospital. So, and of course, there's staffing shortages all over, no matter what the business is. Oh, shoot, that's a NyQuil. TikTok trends. That disgusting looking creation that you're looking at on the screen is NyQuil and chicken. Apparently, that's a TikTok trend, and people are cooking with it, cooking NyQuil with chicken. It's called NyQuil Chicken or Sleepy Chicken Challenge. In the videos, people place chicken breasts in a pan and pour the medicine on it until it absorbs the liquid. When you cook, now this is dangerous though, because when you cook the cough medicine, officials say you're cooking off the water and the alcohol in it, and you're just getting raw, uncut, breathing that vapor into your lungs. So it's a super concentrated amount of drugs that you'll be breathing in. Inhaling the meat when it's doused in NyQuil can be quite dangerous. It's because it's aerosolized. Inhaling it into your lungs can be particularly toxic. Now that's because if you're not eating it or taking it orally through your mouth, it's not going to pass through the liver and get filtered out. So this is just another one of these dumbass challenges on TikTok, like with Tide Pods and devious licks. It's the kind of thing. These TikTok challenges, I often want to say, bring on the apocalypse when I see these things. Oh shoot! And that brings us to the part of the show that P has been waiting for. It's time for P's Weekly Hero. And, P, I have 2 nominees to submit to you for your approval. Now, the first is this gentleman, and he is running for office in Louisiana. Have you seen this guy yet, P?
Yes, I have.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I have.
So he's running for, his name's Gary Chambers Jr. He's running for the Democratic U.S. Senate seat in Louisiana. He's making a blunt appeal to voters, and if you haven't seen it, you won't see it on this show because my videos aren't playing right today. And in that video, he runs down about, I guess, his attitude on marijuana. But he's a black progressive community activist from Baton Rouge, and he's going to be challenging. Either way, though, he and Luke Mixon have an uphill fight to try and win Kennedy's seat, because Kennedy has got the stamp and approval of Donald Trump, and Louisiana can be very red outside of New Orleans, so there's that. But Chambers, Mr. Chambers is my first submitted nominee for P's Weekly Hero, and our last one, or my only other nominee for P's Weekly Hero, is this lovely young lady, and her name is Dorothy Ned, and she's a South Philadelphia native. She just turned 106 a couple of weeks ago, and she credits her longevity to serving the Lord and to Big Macs. She has 9 great-grandchildren and 1 great-great-grandchild. And her grandchild says that was their thing. Every Sunday after church, we get a McDonald's. She loves Big Macs. So apparently that's Morgan Spurlock, that documentary Super Size Me. Apparently you eat McDonald's once a week, it'll extend your life. All right? Instead of eating it every day, eat it once a week. There you go. You're gonna make it to 106. But that's what I got for you, P. So,
are you serious?
That's all I got.
Like that's it?
Yeah, that's all there wasn't much heroism taking place. No, you're not. I would have.
I'm disappointed in you.
Because
you already know who I'm gonna pick.
Oh yeah.
You feel me?
It's a one-horse race.
But I definitely got to give a huge shout out.
I just wanted to give Grandma some run on the court real quick.
Right, Grandma got the run on the court. Grandma is my weekly hero, right?
She won?
She loves Big Macs. I'm not too much worried about the politicians smoking weed, because they all do drugs. There's no drug testing for politicians.
Right. And
Who's drug testing politicians?
They,
they can do whatever they want. They can cheat. They can have extramarital affairs. They can snort cocaine. They can smoke marijuana.
Give me that meth.
Smoking meth, everything. You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm not worried about him.
Okay. I just knew he was going to win.
Why would he win?
That's what's up.
Why would he win?
There we go.
Right? When we have a 106-year-old sitting here, a woman that was born in 1916?
Yes.
Yeah. 1916. 106 years old.
How much change in the world she's seen?
Everything that we see now as what we love.
And you can see it. She's sharp still.
Right.
You can still
sharp.
She's still
look like
there.
Don't make me get up out of this seat.
Exactly.
Get your old grandkids up out of here. I ain't in the mood for that shit. But yeah, definitely that's my weekly hero, man. She's the winner, man. 106 years old. I definitely salute her for her years of service, whether they've been, beneficial or not. Right?
Right.
She definitely deserves, right, a shout out. So happy birthday. If it's not her birthday,
right.
I'll say happy birthday.
Happy
to
belated
her anyway.
Mrs. Ned.
Happy belated birthday. And also tell her, keep on doing what she's doing. Keep on getting her Big Macs.
Right.
Right.
If not, I'll bring them to her.
Right. Absolutely.
Oh, and that brings us to the end of this week's Run of the D Train with Darren DeVoue, folks, on cmpradio.net, which, in case you didn't know, is the voice of Chester. And so don't forget, coming up this week, we don't have any community announcements this week that I know of.
No, we got this one right here. Re-entry, resetting, and redemption It's a free event. It was supposed to take place at Widener. It's going to be a Zoom situation, so it's sponsored by damn near every company in the city of Chester. Everybody doing something positive is on board with this. It's about re-entry, right? Our brothers coming home from jail, resetting, getting a good space so you can continue to be a productive citizen, and redemption, right? Everybody wants redemption, right? Everybody wants to be able to say, you know, they're not who people think they are, right? And show differently. So, you know, this is definitely a good look. Shout out to Jonathan Abdul Rahim for putting this on. And also the new board of Pardon, the secretary, Celeste Trusty, right? So, you know, let's get on this live and on this Zoom and ask questions or just be informed of what's going on in the city of Chester. How we can help.
That's awesome. Is it? Well, I'm asking. It's not. Will there be a recording that'll be presented at all, or no? You don't know.
Right. I hope so. Right.
Okay.
I hope they record it and they send it to me so I can put it on live.
Okay.
So we were supposed to be there, and you know, with everybody scared of Omicron and every other.
Right. Oh yeah.
They canceled it live.
Okay.
And they're just gonna do it via Zoom. Which is cool.
Which is right, because it's still getting done in some regard. Right. I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
All right. Doing great things as usual, P.
We're trying to.
And with that, folks, don't forget, cmpradio.net, YouTube, Facebook page. And don't miss the morning meeting coming up tomorrow morning with P. And what's my man's name, P?
OGGO.
OGGO. And again, if you missed that, you can do like I do and just go on the CMP Radio YouTube or Facebook page and just catch it Monday night. So with that said, folks,
You gonna say bye to the people, Jordan?
Give the people what they want, Jordan. Say bye-bye.
Yeah, but say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that.
She got stage fright. Now she won't get quiet. Oh, okay, ain't that
You not
something?
gonna say that?
She did like Eminem.
That. Oh, you corny, bro.
She did an Eminem. Well, we'll see you next week, folks. Until then, be peaceful, productive, and positive. And actually, P, have you ever heard this saying, the 7 Ps? Prior preparation and planning prevents piss poor performance.
Prior preparation and planning prevents. No, I've heard proper planning prevents piss poor performance.
Okay. There we go. We're gonna use a P for either one of those P phrases. Use them this week, and you should be all right. We'll see you next week, folks, on the D Train with Darren DeVoue on cmpradio.net. Thanks for joining.
Where we at? 6?
Yes.
Work of 2 men. We're going after your train.
The train keeps going all night long.